Hi, hello, Maniac for Bricks, Joey here, with a behind-the-scenes look. As I've mentioned a little while ago, I've been doing some room swapping and rearranging this room in particular to be more of a LEGO room than it was before. I know I already had a lot of LEGO stuff in here, but it is going to have a lot more shelving, the building tables, the stud side heights, all that kind of stuff. So there are some elements that haven't really moved, but haven't really needed to. There's one major piece of furniture that I have needed to move around to get some other things going in place, and that would be the previous loft bed. So most of this has already been taken apart with many different screws, mostly using Allen wrenches and things like that instead of Phillips. And these are still heavy units to move by hand. Still have a couple other things to move around here. I took the bulletin board that was connecting these two ends out of here. So yeah, it's just these two hulking units left to take care of. Best case scenario, I should be able to finish it up this weekend and then be able to, you know, use the room more, fit the tables back in here. So currently the plan for this area is a little bit of a deeper thing into the wall. I don't know what to describe it, but like from when you walk into the room, it has a little bit on this side to hold stuff or, you know, put different pieces of furniture, which at first seemed like the smart idea for the bed being so big. However, there was still kind of a L-shaped walk-in sort of thing. It wasn't fully living up to what I expected, among other things. So instead, what would go in that space will be narrower than this, or this. So when I walk in here, it'll be a nice open space in the room. Actually be able to walk around in the center of it much more easily. And that's going to be using these shelves. So these big display shelves I got from a neighbor several months back, and will be put into there. They also have lights to them, which is kind of cool. So the top section actually has a light bar on each one that can light up. I'll probably put a lot more of the either fragile, maybe some more considerable or valuable LEGO things in there. And then the other shelves will get rearranged as they need to. I do plan on having at least one shelf dedicated to Bionicle, and most specifically the 2007 line of Bionicle. That's my favorite year of Bionicle, and since I have pretty much every set, I mean, the only ones I'm missing by this point would be any of the promotional sets, which are just, you know, cobbled together pieces of things that I probably could build. Once I have all those in there, other LEGO themes will get scattered about in each of those shelves, and both of them. I still have the shelves over here, which originally had video game stuff on it. It still has a few things in here to relocate to the other room where the other video game stuff went. But this can also be used as a generous LEGO display space as well. Each of these units has a cabinet on the bottom of it. I'm still debating on what exactly is going to go in them. I think for the most part I've put Bionicle in there because they have a lot of canisters. It's probably going to wind up that way, but not sure at the moment. But it seems to be a good fitting option because, you know, I want to keep the canisters. I may or may not keep all the figures in the canisters. I even have some of the 2007 ones up here still in the canisters for now until it gets propped up. But yeah, they do take up quite a bit of space. It's not like LEGO boxes where I could always cut these down off the ends of them, you know, fold them in. The bags of pieces can go somewhere else, you know, like I've been doing in the shed and everything before that. And there are some LEGO boxes that don't properly fit that way as well either, but I digress. So it's like, okay, well, maybe the canisters, maybe the Bionicle stuff can fit in the bottom, and that'll work out fine. When I did the measurements, fitting these two shelf units, one over there, one a little bit closer, I will have a little bit of space before it reaches this wall. Now, this wall, for some reason, the way it's wired is that the shelf, or the switches are on this end of it, instead of being over here. So there's a little bit of kind of reach around to get to the lights in the van. But I have a solution for that, so I don't block it up entirely with furniture. I mean, this is basically how it was before. There was a skinnier shelf that fit in here without being the same height, but it also was, again, a thing to walk into. So I need something that's skinny enough that it's not going to come out from here too much, but also not tall enough that it'll be bombarded or get in the way of the switch. And that's basically using these filing cabinets. So I have one over here, and I have one over here that'll be better suited to fit within that space left over from the shelves. So it'll still have a little bit of a breath from the wall itself. If I recall correctly, even the depth of each of those lines up pretty well with the shelves. It won't get too lost in there. If it doesn't work, I'll try something else. But for right now, I think that's a good solution. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of other stuff throughout the room that's either probably not going to stay in the room, it's going to go to another room, or it's going to go into the back end storage. So I can't have a definitive answer for everything that's in here, but a lot of it is probably going to get arranged around that in some way. This shelf is probably going to stay where it is because it's a little skinnier shelf that can fit in and not be in the way of the door. That shelf is pretty much going to stay where it is because, again, it lines up with the door very nicely. This shelf, at least for now, is going to stay where it is, at least along that wall. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to stay exactly there or if it's going to move over a bit. The space in between in here is supposed to be for stud side heights. There's a 6 foot by 3 foot table. So once these things move to their destined location, it'll be easier to fit that table in there. Yeah. This room is very rectangular, but also very tall, so I'm trying to accommodate that as much as possible. Probably one of my next steps is to take down some of the stuff on the walls. Since I have a lot of taller units, I'm going to need to move these to a better location. Where exactly? I'm not sure. I don't even know if it's going to exist in this room still. I would like it to, because it's a Lego room, and these are Lego things, and would like to expand upon these. But that hasn't been figured out yet. A lot of wall stuff and poster stuff is usually figured out once the main furniture is in place first. So once I know that, the furniture is where I want it to be and it looks good where I want it to be, then I can put stuff on the walls to fill in any space around it. Obviously this was here before when I had the bed up here, and I'll just get a stepladder and of course turn off the fan in order to unhook this from the wall. Luckily it's very simple. There's only a couple of nails on each unit, mostly in the corners, to take it out. So that's good. And clock is a clock. It's only one nail. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. I have other Lego stuff that I've also wanted to, decorate and accessorize the room. There's plenty more that I can go through. It is going to be a far cry from having it as a useful building space, except for, bringing in stuff from outside or backlog or something like that. There's just no way for me to have this functionally as a building space that has, everything sorted or anything like that, while still functioning with all the other stuff. I still have the other table. I still have to figure out where exactly it's going to go in comparison with all this other stuff. But I can attest to, if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to do something different with that. There's definitely a lot of shelves. There's definitely a lot of things I can put on shelves. And I want to make it, still buildable, like with the stud side heights being that way. That would be good, but I'll figure it out. Some Pokemon stuff. I think I might actually move to another room. This one is supposed to be 100% Lego. This Lego room should just have Lego stuff and nothing much else, because there's already enough that Lego can occupy in its own room, even more than this room if it really wanted to, and that would be the best case scenario if nothing else was in here. The video game stuff, the Pokemon stuff, whatever, other books and things not related to Lego would be great to fit in some other places and get their own spotlight. But there's also more that I need to move around in order to make that happen. So that's my little update about the whole Lego room switcheroo. I know it has been some time since I last talked about that. I mostly talked about it from the other room's perspective, and this is where we are for this room's perspective. I have the Lego skateboards up here, so that's a thing, but I haven't figured out where exactly they're going to go. I don't have a skate rack in order to put them on there. Times before, I would have put them like saddled up against a wall or something. It may work like that again, but I am still trying to keep them in good shape, because they are still sealed and wrapped. This one, you know, only had a little bit of fraying with it when I got it. I'm trying not to make it any worse than that. I had actually found on eBay another Lego skateboard, and it's another rare one, and it's actually a bit more expensive than each of these almost combined. So I've been holding off on that for quite some time. Haven't really decided what to do with that, if anything. But for Bizarre Lego purposes, it would be great. But there's already a lot in Bizarre Lego as it is, so Volume 2 maybe? Well, we shall see. So yeah, should be a short while before Bizarre Lego Kickstarter launches. If you haven't heard about that, check it over on the main channel. I will be posting more about it throughout social media if you haven't heard it already. And I will talk to you later. Thank you all for watching. And if you have any other suggestions, let me know. Yeah, all these Lego sets have got to move too. And some of them might be able to move onto the shelves more easily than others. I had the Flower Fruit Mountain split into two because it was too big to fit in one shelf here, but it might be able to live together in harmony on one of the other shelf units. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.